poll. Okay, yeah. I have a poll. The chat. So, I haven't used it this way before. I've only used it really once, but it was just for like happy hours with my cousins. And you know, it's like even more difficult now. Everybody's sending out emails. I try to be conscious about the emails. But and if anybody needs to tell me anything, please do it in a private message so that I can grab it. All you do is go to all panelists and just pick my name. It should be in there. And just tell me whatever it is that you'd like to say so that I can try to keep up with everything. Hey, Sharon, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining and supporting as always. So in 2016, so I've been on my health journey. So my hair is 8.5 years old. I always do pre-hair, post-hair. My hair is 8.5 years old. So right before that is when I started to like have questions about stuff. And then I started attracting all this really great information. It really started in health because I was dealing with fibroids. And so it started in the health arena where I started to get really esoteric information. And by esoteric, it really was less of a traditional way to heal myself. I had already had 3 surgeries. I had already been told that I needed a hysterectomy. So I was at the hysterectomy point right there. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, everybody. And I didn't want a hysterectomy, okay? And so I started to attract these doctors and these summits. They were health summits, but it was all natural healing. And every summit, they'd be talking about this amazing information. And I was just sitting, and then my sister, Erin, who's on here, and my other sister, Cheryl, who's on here, we were watching this together. Hey, Wendy, we were watching this. We were like getting all this information together. And what we were realizing and what I realized and what stuck out to me was that there were no Black people. There were no brown people who were sharing this information. I don't know who was getting the information, but there was nobody who looked like us on the panels. And I'm saying I watched this for 2 or 3 years, and that was what I got. And it made me really discouraged because I'm like, I know my family, Black people, melanated people, people of African descent, they're dealing with all these issues. Why is this segmented group of people getting this information? And so I just was standing in the bathroom mirror in May of 2016 after like 3 years of getting all this information, and I literally was just twisting my hair. I was washing it and twisting it. You know, it's a process, right? But I'm watching this health summit. It was like the Winter of Wellness health summit, and they're dropping seeds, and it was basic stuff like the water you drink, the food that you eat, like being unfulfilled in your spirit and in your heart causes cancer. I'd never heard that before. And they were also talking about if you get a cancer diagnosis, you've already had it for 10 to 15 years because it was building up and building up. So when you get that diagnosis and then they rush you to surgery, that's not always maybe for everybody the way that you want to go. I'd never heard that before. And I was like, listen, I need to tell somebody. I'm sitting there. So here we go, flashback. I'm twisting my hair and Spirit said, well, why don't you do it? And I was like, moi? Who am I? I don't know how to share this information. And then the Spirit said, you do it. So right then, I promise you, the Goddess Awakening and Healing part came to me as I'm standing in the bathroom. A few days later, I go to my girlfriend Anisha's house, and I'm telling her this. I was hyped. And I'm telling her this. She said, and I told her the Goddess Awakening Healing, she said, summit. And I'm like, the Goddess Awakening and Healing Summit. Oh my goodness. I instantly, this was May 2016, I called Dr. Vikki. And I'm like, Dr. Vikki, This is what my vision was. Will you be a speaker? She said, yes. And then I called like 3 or 4 other people, including my own personal holistic doctor. And she said, hey, Wanda. And she said, yes. They all said yes. And it was such a blessing. And here I go, trying to get it together. And it just didn't work that time because it was not the time. It took me a while to realize that, not to be frustrated. It wasn't the time. Today is the time. So I am just so grateful that at 8:03, you are here and you've decided to join me. I didn't know what this was going to look like. I knew that the Goddess Awakening Healing Sanctuary, I expanded it after I went to nutrition school and got certified, because I was like, somebody has to tell my people. I consider myself the canary in the canyon, because there's so much information out there, and all the time we're not getting it because we're very traditional. We're conditioned to be very traditional. So here we are. Thank you for joining me. And we're going to get started because we have a lot of good information. But what I wanted to do is to loosen us back up again. So this is, like I said in the beginning, this is not church. This is not very formal. You're not at work. We are amongst sisters. And you know how we do when we get amongst our sisters, right? So it's easy breezy. If you have questions, my girlfriend Cheryl, who's also my sister, is going to kind of like monitor the chat to see if the only chat options which show are all panelists and all panelists. Okay, Cheryl is going to monitor. So if you just put it in all, then Cheryl will see it. All panelists and attendees. Okay, I think I switched it, Belinda. Thank you. I think I did. But Cheryl is going to monitor if anybody has questions. We're going to go through a few minutes and then we're going to stop and answer questions that you have. But that's kind of like how we want to do it. And right before we end, we have a survey. We are doing 7 days. And so we want to make it better each night. Whatever little technical things we're doing, I want to make it better. We have such powerful women. I can't let technology ruin this time and ruin the Goddess Awakening and Healing Summit that has manifested today on Easter Sunday. Resurrection Sunday, renewal, new birth. That's what this is right now. So how apropos that this is resurrection, the renewal, new life. We are home on lockdown, and the earth is healing, y'all. Smog is diminishing in LA. The waterways are clearing up, except for y'all throwing those rubber gloves down. If y'all don't throw them rubber gloves down, then we can really do something. Things are getting better. It's taking time, but Mother Earth, and you may have seen her called Gaia, G-A-I-A. She said, I had enough of this. I need to regenerate myself. And that's what's happening with this COVID. So I wanted to introduce, this is my big sister. She's my sorority sister. Delta's deep in here, y'all. Delta is deep in here. Thank you. Thank you, sorors, for supporting, and thank you everybody for supporting. And but this is my big sister in Delta, and she has a few names. She's Mama Bird, she's Big Sis, and she's also the best name for her is Blessing and Life Changer. She has changed my life and directed me to look at myself so really I could change my own life. That's the key. I changed my life based on some of the little seeds that the worms, the little worms that she dropped into my heart over the course of 10 years almost, because I'll be 50 this year. When I turn 40, I asked her as my birthday present to myself to be my mentor. And she said, of course, baby bird. So here we are. And then she also wrote the foreword to my book. And I talk a lot about her and how she directed me. So welcome, Big Sis, Mama Bird, to the Goddess Awakening and Healing Summit Remix for 2020.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, can everybody hear?
Yeah.
Okay. So We are in a time, big sis. Some people call it a crisis. They're focusing on the negative and the scary, and it exists. We are not diminishing it. And actually, I do want to start in prayer. That's what I was about to do when I started moving my shoulders. Let's just ground ourselves. You got your water, you got your journal, you got your notebook. But let's sit still and breathe for a minute. We've been moving all day. You've been dressed up in your Easter bonnet at the house, but taking pictures. So now you should have some pajamas on or something like that, and you should be chilling. Let's just get centered and get silent. It's going to be a guided meditation, for lack of a better words. We're just going to breathe. So we're going to breathe 3 times, feet flat on the floor if you can. Breathe in through the nose for 4. Hold it for 4 if you can. And then when you breathe out, go, and that calms your system. It calms your parasympathetic nervous system. It gives you, takes you out of fight or flight. So you ever notice when you're like stressed out, you be like, that's your body taking care of itself. So we're going to do it 1. Breathe in. Hold it. And then breathe out. Just getting present in the moment. 1 more time. And then the last time. Okay, thank you. I hope that helped. So, okay, big sis, tell the ladies who you are. Who do you say you are, big sis?
Who do I say I am? I am a sister, a mom, a daughter, a friend, a soror, a mentor. I am every day practicing to embody the fullness of soul wealth, which is vision, compassion, authenticity, abundance, and legacy with myself first, and then in the marketplace. I am love. I really practice that. And I'm really now in the phase of embodying legacy so that everything that I do and get to be to and for other people leaves a transformational impact. That's who I am. Now, what do? I'm a speaker, I'm a chaplain, author, mentor, my mother, a sister, an auntie, a daughter, and I try very hard to be a really good friend to people I am in relationship with. I'm learning to be more than do. I have a lot of accomplishments, long list, and I'm grateful for that. Mm-hmm. You said something earlier about how some people characterize this current experience of us being in a crisis. And what immediately quickened in my heart is that the first phase of healing is crisis. You know who told me that? Dr. Mines. Oh. Dr. Saklaba Mines told me that when I first started going to see her, and I had done my first colon therapy, and got on that hydration colon machine, and then she put me in an infrared sauna. Mm-hmm. And when I came out of the sauna, I felt sick. I was nauseous. Been there. And she said, now you're going through what's called a healing crisis, Vikki, because all the toxins are being stirred up. And so you're going to feel worse before you feel better. I, almost 11 years ago, gave my cousin a kidney. So I am a living kidney donor. And my surgeon then, too, also said to me, thank you. First of all, this is a tremendous altruistic gift that you're giving to your cousin, and you're actually saving two lives because you're giving your cousin your kidney, one of your kidneys, and now someone else can get the next available kidney on the donor list. She said, and what I want you to know, Vikki, is that your recovery is not going to be easy.
Mm.
But every day it will get better. And I adopted that for my life. Like I said, that was 11 years ago. And sure enough, after that surgery, I was miserable. I wasn't in a lot of pain. It was just going through the healing crisis. I had a bout with really severe insomnia, so I could not sleep. That was awful. And how I got through that was I just kept repeating her words to me. Every day gets better. What does that have to do with where we are now? I offer to us that the earth is in a healing crisis and that every day it will get better. Every day it's getting better. That doesn't mean we're not going to be impacted. It doesn't mean we're not going to be affected. Some people have been infected. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean we're not going to have to grieve the loss of people we love and family members. I mean, I get a call every day of someone connected to someone who has transitioned from COVID-19. And that really is in my role as a pastor and chaplain. So I'm providing that kind of support on a daily basis for people who are impacted. However, I also want to say that I'm also getting calls from people who are recovering.
Amen. Me too.
Okay. And that is where we get to now control our experience of how we process this. And I want to say to those of us who are listening tonight, there are more people recovering from this than there are who are transitioning and passing away. Yes. And that is not to diminish the pain, the loss, the grief, the mourning. All of that is imperative that we even go through the phases of grief, the stages of grief, the anger, the disappointment, the denial, the shock, right? Ultimately, acceptance. Because what's also been ripped away from us is how we go through rituals to celebrate the life of those that we love, that we're, I don't want to say losing, I want to say who are now becoming ancestors and transitioning. So calling them into this space, just if you know people, just say their names, you know, call them into your reality and honor their presence. And at the same time, know that we have within us the power to move through this with hope, with expectation, and with the knowledge that every day gets better. And I know that was a long answer, but I just felt intuitively to connect those dots. And those experiences that I shared, you know, with Dr. Mines and when going through the transplant experience are what I pull on every day right now. In addition to being an athlete, you know, I'm starting to establish new patterns and habits of exercising. Like I've been doing 50 push-ups a day and I can feel myself getting stronger. I've been doing, you know, just my muscle memory is kicking in. Mm-hmm. So this is an opportunity. It's been very inconvenient, but it has also been a great teacher to cause us to reconcile really how little we need.
Right.
To survive and be happy and healthy. So it's different. We've not experienced anything like this before. and life will never be the same again. But I offer to everyone who is joining us tonight, it's a gift. And many, many things are being resurrected. And if we are still long enough, our intuition can be activated or reactivated, our faith can be strengthened, and our gifts can be cultivated to make room for us so that when we come out on the other side of this, we're not in a place of devastation, but in a place of preparation for a new way of being and living and doing and relating.
Right. So, big sis, in addition to your push-ups,
Mhm.
what other things? So you're in the house, you're working from home, and you have your daughter there who is in her mid-20s, right?
Yes.
How are you managing the multi-generational household? And what kind of things are you doing to keep your peace and to keep the peace between the two of you?
Well, we're a lot alike.
Okay.
So it has not been an issue. We get along.
Okay.
You know, our energy is very similar. She is a lot like me. When I say many me, she really is a lot like me.
Okay.
And we are both homebodies. We're both introverts, if you will. We're social and extroverted when we're in our gifting, when we are, you know, before people and having to do what we do. But this wasn't a big leap for me or her
Right.
because we're homebodies. I love being at home. It wasn't not difficult for me.
Right.
So managing that has been wonderful. It's giving her opportunity to hit reset as well. You know, we're eating healthy. It's not a lot of junk food. We're not ordering out a whole lot. You know, I went to the grocery store today and got more fruit and veggies and another case of water. And, you know, again, Wendy, it's an opportunity.
Right.
And that's how I see this. And that's what I tell myself because my brain doesn't know the difference. My
Right.
brain believes what I tell it. My
Absolutely.
mind believes what I tell it.
Right.
And so I am saying this is an opportunity for us to resurrect some things, reset some other things, reconcile even still other things, to get rid of. Been doing a lot of decluttering, shredding, throwing away of things, packing things up that, you know, I'll be able to bless other people with,
Mm-hmm.
making room, increasing capacity.
I want to go back to that, what you said about you're telling your brain
Mm-hmm.
something. So I grew up in Jersey, and I tell this story all the time. I grew up in Jersey, and I grew up around a group, like a group of people who used to say, "Word is bond," and that means what you say is your bond. And so I softened it up, and I say, "Your word is your wand."
Mm,
So whatever you are saying to yourself about what this is, then it is.
right.
Pretty much, it is. And so I had to keep remembering to think of Tinkerbell. For those of you who remember Walt Disney back in the day when a Disney show would come on, they would show the beautiful castle, and then Tinkerbell would come, and then she'd do her little wand, and then the stars would come on, and the show would start. So that's how I remember to myself, I have to watch what I say because my word is bond. My word is my wand. And so the universe, God does not really listen. It listens to what I say. And I can tell myself that I'm going to be sick. Now let's just, I know everybody done Googled Corona because you had a little tickle in the throat. No, you have. If you have, just type in the number 1 because you have. Because I did, right? And so a few weeks ago, I had a fever, and I didn't say anything for like a day. I didn't say anything, right? Because I was scared to say something because I was just out in these streets at the Target, right, with no mask because I couldn't find any. And then I got the chills. And I was like, yo, I got the chills. Yikes, right? So here I go Googling the difference between the flu, pneumonia, and corona. And then I talked to my sister Cheryl, and I'm like, Cheryl, I had to just tell her, I'm like, I got a fever. I wanted to tell somebody, like an adult. So I told her, and then we kept monitoring it. So I kept taking my temperature. But then I said to myself, I am powerful.
Yeah.
Okay. My cells want to be healthy. And then I said, I know what to do for whatever this is. So then I had to pull it into perspective. The perspective was that my temperature was 101. I know, as a trained certified in nutrition and a health coach, is that the temperature comes because it's a part of the immune system to support the healing and the attack of whatever it is.
Yeah.
I had to tell myself that, wait a minute, my body is doing what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I bundled up. I put my essential oils on in the diffuser. I put it on my chest and on my back and on my neck and on my limb. I did the things that I know I'm supposed to do. I drank my water. I made some tea, honey, lemon, ginger, cayenne. And then I got into bed and I played 432 megahertz music on YouTube, so that in the middle of the night, in my theta sleep, those cells would be healing. And I ain't had a temperature since.
And you know what else, Wendy? I will also add to that when you start feeling different,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times it is mental.
Yeah.
It's fear, it's anxiety, it's stress playing out. And so another thing that's good to do, if you're able to do, is get up and go outside.
Right.
And move around in the sunshine.
Fun.
Because movement gets all of the healing properties in our bodies activated.
Breaks up the stagnation.
Right? It gets it moving. It gets even infection moving. So I live on the 4th floor in my building with an elevator. But since this has happened, I've been on the elevator once. I'm going up and down the steps, right? Getting stronger, but to get outside in the fresh air, breathe, move, speak life to myself, and then come back in and then drink water and essential oils in the diffuser, the same things, eating well, exercising. You know, let me just drop right now. Like, I don't even have a schedule for my workout. So if I have to go upstairs in my home, on my way back down, I just stop and sit on the steps and start doing dips, right? If I'm watching TV, it's like, oh, I feel like I need to do some push-ups. So I'll just do 25 push-ups or 10 push-ups. Like, it's very intuitive. So what I want to say about that is listen to your body and trust the wisdom of your body.
Yes.
Give your body what it's asking you for. If we would tune in, if we would tap in, our bodies will tell us what it needs. Like, I can feel, Vikki, drink some water and squeeze some fresh lime in it. Or, you know, drink just plain water, alkaline water. Or go get in the shower, come out, you know, drink some tea. Like, my body is telling me what to do. My body is telling me what it needs for me to continue feeling well, because our bodies are wise and we are wise. We have that wisdom in us intuitively. And so I offer that we start tuning in and not so much looking without only, right? Like we're looking outward tonight because we're on this digital summit and we'll be here all week. But take what you learned tonight, what you hear tonight, what triggers something you may have already known, and then go inward. Now, what I heard tonight, self, how does that apply to me? What can I take from this conversation with Vikki and Wendy and apply it to my life so that I can continue being well. We got a email yesterday in my complex, that someone tested positive for the virus here where I live.
Okay.
I was between speechless and furious because I felt like we should have known that sooner. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then I said, okay, now you have an awareness. Keep doing what you're doing. It's not going to change anything for me. Right? I had to make a decision. Like, am I going to now be uber paranoid because it could be my next door neighbor and I don't know that?
Right.
No, I'm not. I'm going to keep doing what I know to do. I'm going to trust the wisdom that I have and keep going. Right? Because the person I'm walking past in the grocery store can have it. The person at the post office can have it. So nothing changes about me. It's about being consistent and practicing temperance, self-control, and doing what I know to do.
And that is so real, because the fact that we are here and many of us are 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, that means that your immune system has gotten you here.
Yeah.
You've already had the mumps or the measles when you were little, right? Depending on what age you are. There are things that go on that you never, like, how about those of us who never get the flu versus those of us who do? Your neighbors might get it and you don't. You might get something and they don't. So everybody's body is different. And what you do during this time should just be based on what your little belly and what your heart and what your brain tells you to do, your instinct, intellect, and intuition. Dr. Vikki might, in the coming down the stairs, drop and do some push-ups. I ain't doing that. I'm a morning gal. I get up and then I do my qigong, my yoga, whatever. Or I go.
All good.
So everybody is different, and
yeah.
be okay with that. And then I want to piggyback on what she said that is so important. Our bodies are intelligent. We are intelligent. The foods you eat can be intelligent. If you eat the rainbow and not the Skittles version, eating the rainbow of foods that have dark colors, purples, blues, greens, all of those kinds of foods, they affect your body in a certain way. So if you're eating fresh vegetables, the intelligence in the food communicates to the intelligence that's in the body, the organs, and it knows how to talk to each other. And that's how, you use it to heal your body. And we are the original Google. Many of us rely on this for life. You check your heart rate, you check your pulse, you check your steps, you figure out where you're going on the, on the Waze, you got your email, but your original Google is your body.
Yeah.
So that's what I want a theme to be knitted through this whole next, 6 days that we have, is that look in the mirror. You are the intelligence. You are the intelligence that can tell you how to navigate this crisis. You should be eating better. You should be getting outside, getting some sun, doing this, washing of the hands, putting on the mask. Those things you have control over. You do not have control over what they are doing in government. You have control over your house and maybe some of your kids and maybe your husband or your boo. But just control what you can control, because then that's like less of trying to eat the whole elephant, and that's just taking a little nibble. Don't you agree?
I do. I say often, manage what you can and surrender what you can't. Mm-hmm. Manage what you can and surrender what you can't, and be okay with that.
Right.
Be easy with yourself. Be gentle with yourself.
My sister Cher says that all the time. She's on here. Hey, Sister Cher.
Hey, Cher.
With yourself. And Black women and brown women is different for us. We're not conditioned to do that. We are conditioned in the myth of Superwoman. where you hold it all down at all times. So I know that I guess maybe we're about a month in, Dr. Vikki. How long you been? About a month. So in the beginning, the first 2 weeks, it was just like a little shocking. Then everybody went and bum rushed the toilet paper. Okay. Then by week 2, your job sent the computer home and they hooked you up, and then now it works. So now that. Then the kids' school was doing whatever. So now that's week 3. Then by week 4, which is where we are now, you like, oh snap, this is real, right?
Yeah.
So you managed your significant other, making sure he was okay. You managed the kids. If you have multiple, you managed all that. You haven't taken the time to manage yourself. You've been doing so much. I would estimate that now at 4 weeks in, when you have a good maybe rhythm, now is the time when I'm hearing people, and myself included, I'm starting to be like, this is real. And how do I feel about it? How do I really feel about what's going on? So if everybody would take just a moment and type in the box, if you would, how are you really feeling about this? I personally, last week, felt anger. And I didn't even really say it out loud until Wednesday. And that's because I took Erica Totten's class, Emotional Emancipation. She'll be here she'll be here on Thursday. I took her class, and it was almost like she gave me permission to even say that I was angry, because I was angry of how this is playing out. And I was also so angry that yet again, us, my brothers and sisters, we are suffering at a greater number than other populations because of the underlying things that we have, which is why I originally went to nutrition school, was because I was seeing this and I was seeing how other people were healing, and I wanted to bring this gift to us, and it's happening again. So that's what I was angry about. So let's see what you all are writing. If anybody's writing anything, just be honest. You may have never even thought about it before. Our girl Loretta says she over it. Calls her Vikki J. Vikki J, she said she over it.
Yeah. I saw uncertainty. I saw concerned, anxious.
Yes.
Anxious is a big one. Angry.
She says that she is impatient, but
Yeah.
more so peaceful now. And she's young. She's a young singer. And so they've been joking about the millennials and those who are ready to get outside. And so I'm glad to see that she's like that. I see Nisi, my girlfriend from home that I grew up since I was a baby. She said she's job-related anxiety. And my girl Sabrina says she hasn't even pushed pause yet. So let's just
confused. I see confused. I see numb. I see. So this is great. Thank you all for being transparent and vulnerable.
Yes.
This is why this week with you and this summit is so important, because now it is time for us to come back into our bodies and process the emotion of what we're feeling. Process it, feel it, so it can move through your body and out of your body, so that you can get grounded in what's next.
Wow.
So that you can get grounded in what's next, so that you're not stuck. And it's like grief.
Yeah.
If you don't process your grief, when it's time, if you don't cry, if you don't feel the anger, if you don't feel the anxiety, if you don't feel the stress, the numbness, the shock, when it's time to move on, you'll be stuck in that emotion.
Absolutely.
So you have to feel it. You have to put language around it. You have to, if you can't articulate it, write it out, journal it. Go for a walk outside if you can, and just talk to the trees. Let the sun kiss you. Let the breeze of the wind hug you,
Right.
reconnect with nature. For me, I prophetically, intuitively, empathically knew this was coming. I just didn't know it was COVID-19. I have
Right.
been talking about something like this for years, Wendy, for
Yeah.
years with certain people,
Mhm.
for certain people. I've been saying in my Soul Wealth tribe, something is coming. I don't know what it is. Stock up on water, stock up on toilet paper, stock up on, non-perishable goods. I have been saying this for years.
Mhm.
Consequently, the first 2 weeks, I didn't say anything. I was just quiet,
Mhm.
observing, knowing that the time was going to come where I would have opportunity to speak and share and lead and guide.
Yep.
And that's where I find myself now. And I consider it to be an honor, really, a privilege to be a leader, a spiritual leader during this time, to collaborate during this time, to connect and support and listen and help others find relief and release so that you can move forward. Listen, at the end of the day, this is an opportunity. This is a reset.
Mhm.
Coronavirus has been a tremendous equalizer. I know disproportionately African Americans and people of color are being impacted, but even that is a wake-up call.
Yep.
Even that is a wake-up call. And yes, perfectly healthy people with no known underlying issues are being affected and impacted. Again, it's happening to all of us. But the truth is this: we are all on the same playing field.
Mhm.
I know I'm a conspiracy theorist too, so I get it, okay? Oh, Vikki, that's not true. Like, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I am aware of those things, and I can't wait for that wisdom to be dropped later on in the summit this week.
Yes. Yes.
Nevertheless,
Yes.
what are you going to do with it?
Right.
After you get the information, what are you going to do with it? After you get the wisdom, what are you going to do with the information? Right? So now more than ever, community is important.
Yep.
And that's what we're creating here. If you don't have a community, connect to one. If you don't really intuitively know which one to connect to, start one, right? This is an opportunity for our gifts. This is an opportunity for community as we used to know it, pre-social media.
Yeah.
Right? Now those skill sets are the old school way, is coming back into play, where we're looking out for our children and we're looking out for our elders and we're reaching out to family and family, right? Friends that become family.
Yep.
We're going back to the things of our ancestors and our grandparents and our great grandparents. Yeah, we've been here before. It wasn't coronavirus. Before, it was the civil rights movement. And before that, it was slavery, and like we can just keep going back
Right.
generations and lifetimes, honestly, of of what we're experiencing now, this crisis. So crisis comes to interrupt the norm and the status quo and to give us the opportunity to reset. How are you going to come out of this? Like $10,000 for small business owners, that's not going to last a long time. After that, then what?
Right.
Right? The stimulus check, what is that going to do?
Right.
Right? Unemployment, okay. Those are temporary. I'm saying it again. Temporary interventions.
Yeah.
But you're wiser, you're stronger, you're better. And I just want to impart into those who still feel anxious and have some uncertainty, you have everything you need right now.
Yeah.
You have it. You have everything you need right now. This has also been an opportunity to interrupt dysfunction.
Yeah.
And toxicity and break bad habits and cause us to really look. You know what I've been thinking about is it's been causing us, I want to finish that thought, causing us to really look at ourselves and our lives if we would stop and do it, right?
Right.
Live so from this moment forward. Like I'm calling us into this moment to be, start from here. You don't have to start over. Start from here.
Yes.
Live so intentionally. Live so intentionally that when you're no longer here, whenever that is, that your life is your eulogy. Be so content and focused and on it. Like, and it's a decision. Do it afraid. Do it afraid. Talk to a sister, right? Connect to a community so that you can articulate what you're feeling and then get equipped to move beyond it. So I'm gonna stop talking right there.
And I do want to go back to some of the things that people are saying. So there are a lot of essential workers here.
Yeah.
My sister included, Lisa, my sorority sister Tamika, my sorority sister Vikki. Some of you all are essential workers. We thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. My sister works in a hospital, so yeah, thank you.
And my niece too. So thank you so much
for your service.
And then my goddess Lolita, she just recovered. So she's here now. So let's just, put some hearts in the chat if you can. She said her 8 days of dealing with this was wicked. So we are just grateful, sis, that you have overcome it.
Yeah.
Body was strong enough and you have overcome it. And I bet you will do things differently moving forward. So
yeah.
We are grateful for you. And, just a little chuckle with you all. My mom, she's older, so she's of the silent generation. Those were the World War II babies who saved rubber bands, tin foil, and all those kinds of things. Well, her basement is baby BJ's. So before we leave to come back to Virginia from Jersey, we get the toilet paper, we get all the stuff because she has it. And so now she's chuckling, talk about, guess who's laughing now? Because she got all the goods at the house. So, definitely it's intuitive. And then I was even, same for me, Dr. Vikki, is just like, I knew something was going to happen. I wasn't sure. I knew it was going to be 2020 because I just been trained that the Healthy People 2020 was something that was coming. Well, it's here, baby. It's here. And it's not a joke. And so we'll talk more about that in the weeks to come. And Tracy's laughing at my mom. She knows my mom. And so we just want, for those of you, I see a few people have said sad, an open wound, and those types of things, confused, unsure, things like that. Now, what I want to do is just like Dr. Vikki says, you move from here, but I am grateful that you were able to identify and have that awareness because you can't fix what you can't face.
Right.
And it's great that we were able to put language like I did not even understand. I knew that I was mad, but I didn't want to say it because like, what am I really going to say? I'm mad. But once I feel like she gave me permission, and even though we don't need permission to do anything, it was like she just said, it's okay, Wendy. It's okay that you're pissed off. And then it just came, and I actually had a whole cry session outside on my balcony. And then as soon as it was over, I had to balance that energy. So y'all know I got on my D Nice on Instagram. It just so happened to be on, and I had to move my body. So that's how I was dancing on my balcony under that full moon. The moon was beautiful. And I was moving my body, and I was intentional about releasing that. And like Dr. Vikki said, what do I do next?
Yeah, what do you get to create?
Right.
Who do you get to be now?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And even for those essential workers who again, thank you so much for your bravery, your courage, your service. I also believe for them that they will too have an opportunity to exhale. Like I know right now they're in the midst of it, like in the middle of it. But just intuitively, I believe a collective exhale is coming and their reward is coming with that. So I pray for their endurance. Like I said, my sister works in a hospital, my younger sister. So I think about her every day, right? Every minute of every day. I'm sending her love and peace and strength and light and, giving her opportunity just to talk, calling her, how you doing? You know, and she's just in get it done mode. She's just she's just in the mode like this is what I have to do. This is who I am. And we collectively and individually, I keep saying this because it's so important, get to create how we move through this, how we come out of this, right? And the truth is this, like we're all angry, sad, anxious, stressed out for different reasons.
Yeah.
Because life as we knew it is no more.
Mm-hmm.
So we are really in a collective grief, whether you have children or grandchildren or family members who are not going to be able to graduate high school traditionally or go to the prom, or weddings that have had to be rescheduled, vacations. I literally was getting on a flight when my vacation was canceled. Like I was at the airport getting ready to get on a flight. And I just went, what? So it took me a while. And this was a vacation that I had been paying on for a year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, I started thinking about the money and the expectation and looking forward to, being away for 10 days. And then I just started being grateful because some people that I was about to travel with were already there. Right? So then you just activate your gratitude muscle and start counting your blessings and what can you have joy around and what can you release? What can you surrender? What can you forgive? And now what do you get to do? Who do you get to be?
Absolutely.
Really is where we are.
That's where we are. And I want to go back to that as somebody who studies nutrition or is certified in nutrition. We talk about the vitamins. So you got to get those vitamin C's. You got to get the vitamin D's. But the vitamin G is gratitude. And vitamin L is love. And those boost your immunity just as well as doing those push-ups on the floor. So it's multimodal. And then even whoever you're in your house with, other ways to boost your immunity and to even do things differently. How often in a non-sexual manner do you just hold your significant other's hand? Or how often do you just hold your child's hand or give them a real hug, for more than 15 seconds? You might pat them on the back, but those things also boost immunity. And you feel good. Then you get a sense of gratitude. It's like, we're here. I make it a point to hug that old stinking Sid as much as I can. Sometimes she's like, but for the most part, she'll let me do it because it feels good. And that is love. And that is an immune booster. So we are really physically distanced, but those people that you have in the house, you are not physically distanced from. We're not social distancing. We are social beings, human beings that are not hurt and trying to like stay away from people. We crave it. We need it. So
yeah, I just want to also, talking about people in the house. Yeah. I just want to speak to those of you who are in the house and it's difficult. to be in the house, whether because you're alone
Yeah.
or whether you are in an unhealthy situation at home.
Yes.
I just want to speak to you because you have to find solace and sanctuary internally.
Yeah.
You have to go within. And it is really crucial for you to find moments of peace. And I know what it is to live like that,
Mm-hmm.
to live in turmoil.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it is even to live in silent frustration, right? And put on a great public face.
Mm-hmm.
You have to breathe, you have to get grounded. And in those moments, you have to just focus on what's next. Not the big picture, because the big picture can be overwhelming. I dealt with postpartum depression for 5 years, times I could not even get out of the bed. And some days all I could do was the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the next thing may have been that day, let me get up and
Yeah.
take a shower, right? Or let me go brush my teeth, like literally the next thing. So I just want you to know that if you're having a difficult time because of dysfunction, because of loneliness, because you're alone, or because of toxicity or dysfunction, that you're on the mind of people who are sending you love and who are praying for you. And this is temporary. And
Yes.
to pull on all of the things you've already survived for
Mm-hmm.
strength and the wherewithal to just get through the next moment. So you really have to consciously turn up your self-love and your self-care as much as you can,
Yeah.
because that's not easy, Wendy. I'm telling you, there are some people who being able to leave home was their escape, was
Yeah.
their exhale, was their, I just need a moment. And now that you don't really have that opportunity easily,
Yeah.
it can be tough. So I just want to
Yeah.
speak to you, if you are watching tonight or if you're watching later, that you're being thought about
Yes.
and that you have what you too have what you need to get through this and come out of this with the same opportunity to create something different.
Ashe, Dr.
Yeah.
Vikki.
Yeah.
So we are getting ready to wrap up. Our hour is gone, and I want to
What?
be I know it stinks, right? We got 5 minutes. So what I want to do is, if there are any questions, definitely, ask any questions. What I'm going to do is put the poll up, and if you could vote in the poll while we are moving forward. So Dr. Vikki has written 12 books, y'all, 12. And she actually wrote the foreword for my book. So tell them about your latest book, Dr. Vikki.
My latest book is entitled Soul Wealth: Finding Vision, Compassion, Authenticity, Abundance, and Legacy in the Midst of Chaos. Is the name of my book, which was released this past August, but it took me 3 years to write that book.
Divine timing.
Divine timing is everything. And um I know you're going to ask me, but I know we're winding down, so I don't want to rush through that. I had an amazing wealthy conversation last week with Dr. Lynn Richardson
Okay.
around tools, around how to manage your finances, what to do if you got laid off, what to do if you have a small business, those types of things. And so I want to offer that to those who may have been praying and asking and seeking and searching for resources and wisdom around how do I move as it relates to my money? What can I do now so that I can come out of this prepared for what's coming, and I can really take advantage of what's happening and come out better financially? Because a lot of millionaires, quiet as it's kept, are being made right now.
We are.
Right? Because of a mindset shift. Like, this is the time to activate your gift. This is the time to activate your talent. This is the time to look for another job if you want another job, and to start a business. So if you want that interview, that recording, I would love to send that to you. They can just email me, Wendy. If you can put my email in the chat, it's VHK Johnson@yahoo.com, or you can go to my website, which is Vikki Johnson, VIKKI, VikkiJohnson.com, and you can email me through my website, and I am happy to send you that recording. It's a phenomenal 90-minute conversation. Dr. Lynn Richardson is a celebrity financial expert, and she was just dropping nuggets left and right. People were emailing me and texting me saying they had pages and pages and pages of notes from things they did not know. Because you know what? Wealthy people have different conversations.
Yeah,
the language is different. They talk about different things. And so that conversation will really help you. And then I'm also going to start this week Soul Wealth Sessions, where I will be offering one-on-one 20-minute Zoom chats that you can sign up for. It's $1 a minute, and it's 20 minutes. And you can also sign up for those Zoom chats. For those of you who just want to go a little deeper, you just want some one-on-one support, it's just you and I. You can also sign up for that via my website, which is VikkiJohnson.com. And then at the top of the website, it says book a session. I have people already signing up for those. And then I have other peers of mine who are psychotherapists and therapists and counselors and chaplains who are also on standby to help me support those who are looking for additional support.
That's beautiful. Thank you. And I'll send that in the recap email.
Thank you, Wendy.
For everybody, absolutely. And then same for me, my book was released, From Jersey to Me, The Awakening and Healing of a Goddess. And there are chapters. Dr. Vikki wrote the foreword, but it's all the work, the things that we talked about, the going within. Out of the 8 chapters, after every chapter is some reflections. And if you can see here, there's a mirror there, because it's to go within instead of focusing so much out. So if you have some time, it's on audio, it's digital, and then there's a hard copy. You know, please consider picking it up. I have a code for to save, and the code is awaken, #awaken. Because now's the perfect time to start really doing this work. It's easy to say do the work, but it's easier when there's a guide. There's reflections, there's exercises, there's mantras and things in here for you to help guide you along the process.
That book would be great with Soul Wealth.
Yes.
It really would. And I'm not saying that to try to be slick about pitching my book. I'm really saying Soul Wealth and your book go together because the patterns are similar. You know, there's space to write at the end of each chapter. Soul Wealth is a tremendous blessing to many, many people already. You know, the book is doing really well, and I'm grateful for that. And just happy to be in position to be of service and to be connected with you and to kick off your Awaken and Heal Digital Summit. I am so proud of you, Wendy, your grind and your hustle. And this is your time. Like, this is the time. This is your time for such a time as this. And keep shining.
Thank you, big sis. my radio show, the Sanctuary Radio Show, Dr. Vikki was my inaugural guest, and on
Yeah.
her show, radio show, Soul Wealth Radio,
Yep.
I was her inaugural guest. So
Yeah.
that an email that I sent you a long time ago, I'll resend it so that you can check up on those, check up on our interviews. Thank you so much for everybody who joined us. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it. Please come back. Please tell a friend. Please, email me when I email everything out and tell me how I can improve it. Thank you so much for taking the survey. For those of you who did, I pray that you will be different as of today. One way tonight is to journal and write down a few things about how you were feeling right now. Flesh out some of those things that we talked about. And I'm so grateful that your spirits have been lifted. Thank you for all my sorors and all my Monmouth County, Jersey people, and my sisters are here. We will see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
Same place. And we will have Dr. Jerry. I love Dr. Jerry. Dr. Vikki introduced me to Dr. Jerry. Dr. Jerry is a physician, and she's going to talk to us about, while we're in the house, how to keep a rhythm, how to stay safe, and how to keep ourselves together during this time. And she has a super unique story. So I can't wait for you to meet her tomorrow. We will see you then, everybody. Have a beautiful night.
Good night.